Welcome again, guys, to another episode of the Washington SXM podcast. As always, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to get the bell icon notified whenever I drop a video. So, quick, and I do a video on Ghana recently, the one where the gold for oil. But I have a few in the comment section. I have a few people saying that African countries must come together so they can fight off the big bad West. But in actuality, Ghana has reached out to a few of the African nations and they've signed a few bilateral agreements with different African countries. For instance, they signed one in South Africa last year. Here's a signing ceremony. Take a look at it and then we discuss it.
The task that lies before us is to actively seek out trade and investment opportunities beyond our borders, not in Europe, not in Asia or the Americas, but with our own neighbors and on our own continent. One sector with growth potential is the pharmaceutical sector. And this is a sector that we must now pay attention to.
Ghana and South Africa have signed agreements to improve their economies through agriculture, migration, and transportation infrastructure.
We have agreed that certain institutions that we want to see come into being, a business council between South Africa and Ghana, a joint committee for trade and investment between our two countries, become part of the architecture of the Binational Commission, which will then be in a position to maintain constantly the dialogue and interaction between our two business communities.
Both countries want to tap into the African Continental Free Trade Area to drive intra-trade and investments.
To overcome the condition that our continent has been in for many decades, we must accelerate industrial development. By designing appropriate rules of origin or local content requirements that foster industrial development in Africa, we will be able to ensure that we develop value-added, made-in-Africa production, creating millions of jobs for young Africans.
South Africa is one of Ghana's largest foreign direct investors, with businesses in mining, telecommunications, and retail.
So here's the guys that South Africa and Ghana, they do the bilateral, and they also doing a agreement on tourism as well. And also Ghana again signed another MOU, which is memorandum of understanding with Rwanda. Here's that signing moment.
Confident that the seed that we are sowing today will eventually blossom in the very near future into a strong, mutually beneficial relationship between our two countries. The Memorandum of Understanding between Ghana and Rwanda is aimed at strengthening and developing trade ties between our two countries, as well as expanding and diversifying commercial exchanges among our private sector operators. Ghana and Rwanda have enjoyed very good fraternal relations for several decades. Indeed, Ghana was one of the few countries that contributed troops to Rwanda during the very difficult period in the history of Rwanda as part of the peacekeeping initiatives sponsored by the United Nations. In addition, both countries have played significant roles in shaping the agenda of the African Union over the years and have held common positions in various multilateral fora. The history of the African Continental Free Trade Area cannot be written without giving credit to the peoples and governments of both Ghana and Rwanda for the roles that we played in the establishment of this single continental market for Africa.
The signing of the MOU denotes the practical steps that will allow our private sector and citizens to realize the gains and benefits of the free trade area to realize the gains and benefits of the brother countries. Our two great leaders, His Excellency Paul Kagame and His Excellency President Nana Akufo-Addo.
So here you see that they signed this memorandum with bilateral agreement with Rwanda. There's a few more, but I didn't have a chance to get to show you all of them. But they have one with Ivory Coast as well, and they have one with Nambia. Memorandum of understanding. I think they're going to do in electricity. They have a visa-free program with Nambia, I think Rwanda, and also they have they're gonna do a giant electrical sharing with Nambia as well. So there are a few African countries that are coming together, and Rwanda is an emerging economy right now, and they are, for business purposes, to go to do business, they are number 35 or 38 in the world for business friendly country, and one of the cleanest countries as well in Africa, as well as Ghana is the second safest country in Africa. So all around, things are getting better and better in Africa, because you also have the African G4. I think it's Ivory Coast, Algeria. I can't remember the next two, but there's 4 of them that come together in the G20 and become within the G20 they have a G4, which is they come together in that. So when they go to the EU, they have a one voice. Then I have different countries in Africa talking about the same different issues. So they come together, make one voice, and then go to the EU, present their case. So that's a plus as well for the continent as a whole. So that's what was holding back Africa in the past, the individualism of Africa. But now, since South Africa is coming together, which is, again, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Nairobi, Sierra Leone is another one. They are they're number 5 and the safest place in Africa to visit. And a lot more is going on right now on the continent. So I like this fact that the continent is finally coming together. Not all of them, because the continent of Africa have 55 countries. But you have at least 12 to 15 countries right now pulling together, creating this one voice. And also, East Africa is also doing, it's 7 countries in East Africa that's doing the one up between now and 2030, they want to have the single currency and free border movement, which means visa free for those 7 countries and those 7 citizens of those 7 countries. So let me see if I can remember off the top of my head. Rwanda, Sierra Leone. Honestly, I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't want to do that. Well, I will put it in the link in the description or in the comment section. The 7 countries in the East Caribbean, in the East Africa. So, people, it's a good look for Africa right now. Now is the time to go over Africa, visit, because it's beautiful over there. I've never been there, but I've seen photos. But I'm going to Africa soon, very soon. And I'll be documenting my visit when I go over there to show you that it's a beautiful country. Continent, not country. I'm going to a country, but the continent itself is a beautiful. Not all, because, we do know that some African countries have war going on, like right now, like in the Congo and the Sudan, and they have conflicts going on, which I don't recommend no one to visit. A war-driven area, conflict, that's not the place to visit, unless you're a reporter. And I don't know many black people who do that. It's mostly white reporters going to those places and do all of that and doing those, which is a good thing for them, but I'm not doing it. Most unlikely. So yeah, so also it's ripe for investment and for business purposes as well. Because I have a next video I did already, where Idris Elba, the English actor, he not just, for the past 3 years he's been trying to put a studio in Ghana. But more on my next video, you can go and check it out, where he doing a movie in Ghana as well. So plus, so all around, it's a place to be, a place to go, invest. You have Jamaicans there as well investing in farming. You have African Americans investing in real estate. They may becoming millionaires over there. So it's right. I don't need a lot of money to start. So go invest where you're loved and and you're not facing racism on a daily basis. So join over there, people. You don't know it's, as always, it's the Washington SXM podcast. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Peace, one love. Boom.